Home Alone film spoilers: a young boy is left alone over Christmas, whereas some try and steal back from him a valuable heirloom. I watched this and civilization failed to collapse. Nice nations did not fall. Untranslatable ancient scrolls did not crumble to dust. Also, elements of it I truly quite enjoyed. Once Home Sweet Home Alone was proclaimed a few weeks ago, film lovers conjointly had an attack of the vapors at the thought of an inventive festal classic being remade in 2021. Currently it's here, and while it's not great, nobody died. After all, that's one in all its problems. It's simply too nice to relinquish the filmmakers their due. This Home Alone doesn't feature a massive mansion deception to be a family house, that for British viewers vulnerable to show the primary motion picture show from Christmas comedy classic into pure property porn. Two families feature during this update, with the Mackenzies living in a median family house, one that redundancy has left them on the brink of losing, and also the Mercers living in affirmative a mansion, however one slightly smaller than last time, whereas its tagline holiday classics were meant to be broken is nonsensical hubris. I'm not notably daunted by sequels, remakes and reboots. On the far side the freakish plan of exploitation constant name because the original, I'm observing you, the factor in Scream. It's not necessary enough to induce tense about, not after I am still looking forward to that John Wick/electroacoustic transducer prohibition crossover. The initial is usually there, and after all my son has currently set to travel off and watch Home Alone 2, Lost in Big Apple, on my mobile phone. Don't tell patron Saint Nolan. During this version, GHB Mercer, Archie Yates, a 10-year recent British boy living within the USA with mum Carol, Aislingby, and an invisible father, is accidentally left reception once his family jaunt Tokyo for Christmas. Meanwhile, Pam and Jeff Mackenzie, Ali Kemper and Rob Delaney try to induce within his house to steal back a really rare doll that may solve all their cash worries, which they assume GHB scarf from them throughout in party viewing day. GHB overhears them talking regarding the ugly boy doll, and assumes they need to snatch him instead. Home Sweet Home Alone isn't Home Alone, however it's amiable enough fare, and my 9-year recent, who for many years watched the initial and its more and more desperate sequels. Yes, even 4, on repeat, was delighted by the references to the first film once he wandered in. A number of these are explained thoroughly. Buzz McAllister is currently a cop, compete by constant actor, refusing to analyze Max's police report as a result of Kevin will it to him as a prank each Christmas, whereas others are for truth fan to spot, if any over the age of 10 will bring themselves to watch. Much of the story is just like the primary film, however the globe has modified since 1990. In technical schoolology and the way we have a tendency to react to it, therefore the essential updates concentrate on tech and folks being essentially nice, even once they're breaking into your house. I liked how they get around the straightforward handiness of prank ideas online, and at constant time highlight parental anxiety over the internet. GHB Ab Initio asks their Alexa-esque homebot to look for booby trap ideas, solely to be told his folks have blocked something involving the word booby. In the finish he must produce his own, and whereas they don't show that much initiative, we've to recollect this can be a world wherever no kid has seen Home Alone. However they need most likely seen countless YouTube videos. Still, familiarity means that those GHB comes up with himself are rather dull. After all, just like the Brobdingnagian quantities of sweets GHB Chuck once he initial realizes he has the house to himself, what Home Sweet Home Alone has an excessive amount of is sugar, and what it lacks is bite. The simplest children's classics forever have some darkness, counteractive the sweetening and creating the sentimental stuff additional realistic. However this motion picture show has none. Pam and Jeff aren't career burglars. They're a middle-aged, married couple, desperate for money, and they're not even stealing. They definitely suffer, falling downstairs and being hit by table game balls, but it's all terribly panto, and that we understand that. Ultimately they're nice people. Is that this wherever hashtag be kind gets us? Before I'm unsympathetic off for not hashtag be, ing, Kind enough, a children's film while not danger teaches them solely a way to build a mess, and we know who must clean that up. A number of the comedy is jarringly dated. We have a tendency to don't want another human speaking in loudly enunciated English to someone of another ethnicity, although the joke is supposed to air them. It's not funny. And that I may do with none. Standing on Lego gags, Archie Yates was delightful, charming, and lost in Jojo Rabbit, wherever he was attempting to form sense of a terrible life he'd been thrown into owing to the deliberate evil of the adults around him. As Home Sweet Home Alone goes on, his character is lost, but typically irritating. Yates is at his best and funniest once snarking together with his British mum before he's left behind. After all, there's a problem throughout the film with British and Yank performers having entirely completely different acting styles. In her scenes with Yates, B is on smart form, and that I suspect each would are a far better slot in a wholly British set Home Alone. Once Yank viewers got wont to a little town house cost accounting £1 million, with Christmas decorations in the lead involving an expansive removal Santa and a Ranger for Tyrannus with half its lights blown out. Kenan Thompson's realtor Gavin is incredibly funny and, of course, solely nicely pushy, obtaining the film off to a bouncy start. The simplest laughs come back from those actors who take the skinny material and work it while not their characters turning into slapstick caricatures. Thompson, Ali Maki and Tim Simons, Pam's in-law Apricot and relative in-law Hunter, deliver humorous performances without stretching themselves into the realms of ridiculousness.